Oh yeah, I know how this happens, and I've already kind of covered it a bit, but let's go into it again. Next slide. Okay, so again, diversity is king. Anytime that we have more diversity. Okay, let me say this a different way. Remember that slide where we talked about how, one meal of fast food can change what's going on inside your gut? That means that every time that you eat, you're either feeding or starving a specific bacterial strain. So for someone like Dana talked about, she eats a lot of protein. Well, guess what is thriving in her gut? The microbes, those good bacteria that really like to break down and they feed on protein because they're getting fed every single day. Guess what Dana then doesn't have a lot of? The type that are craving carbs, because that's not the primary part of her diet, right? So we're actually training our gut of what needs to be thriving by what we're feeding it every single day. So being able to put that diversity back in, if we're someone who's like, well, I haven't eaten fruits and vegetables, I thought Fruit Loops counted. Well, no, it doesn't count, and we need to fix your diet. But also, let's put some microbial diversity back in by using our PB Restore. So every single day, you're telling your gut what needs to thrive and survive and what needs to leave by what we feed ourselves. We also have the prebiotics and the bacteriophages. They do the same thing. They make the room, or they make the good atmosphere for those specific bacterial strains to thrive and then do their job and break down the foods properly so that things are eliminated that shouldn't be there, things that are absorbed are being absorbed, things are broken down to an element that our body can actually knows what to do with, and it's not staying in its whole food form. It actually gets absorbed. Next slide. Again, reducing digestive inflammation because of our probiotics and postbiotics. So again, you guys can see that inflammation in the gut. There's multiple different ways that we're approaching it. Multiple different parts of our PB Restore formula all address this. And it is a huge piece of gut health. And again, if you're someone who struggles with a lot of food allergies, just check mark off. Yes, you have leaky gut. You have leaky gut going on because food got to the wrong place. And of course, if you were to eat a sweet potato and have a reaction to it, that means those sweet potato particles got outside the gut, and sweet potato in the gut, beautiful. Sweet potato floating around in other fluids, not so great. That's not where sweet potato belongs. And then your body's like, enemy, I now need to attack this every time she eats it. And that's your sign that we had a leaky gut issue. And then again, supporting healthy bowel movements. We want to make sure that everything is moving, it's breaking down, it's moving through, and enough moisture is staying in there as it collects and moves through the tube. Next slide. Enhancing nutrient absorption. Again, when we're taking our products, when we're eating food, if we're going to pound the fruits and veggies, we want to make sure that we get everything possible out of it, and we don't want to be wasting it, right? So if we're going to eat the broccoli, we want all the goodness from the broccoli to come through. So that's our nutrient absorption. Same thing with VMG. We've increased absorption, but again, you put a good thing into a bad atmosphere, it's still going to decrease our body's ability to be able to absorb VMG when our entire our digestive system is inflamed. So making sure it has a good, healthy gut lining. We're enhancing nutrient absorption through having the right bacteria in the gut. And then we're making sure that there's no pathogens or bacteria in there that are causing massive disruption and inflammation. Because again, we're crowding them out. We're letting them know they're not welcome at the party and there's nothing here for them. Next slide. And then promote mental well-being. So again, we're going to go back to that gut-brain axis. We could have someone who eats really well, who takes all of the right products, but if they live their daily life in complete and utter chaos, you will still have an unhealthy digestive system because of that gut-brain axis. So you can do everything else right, but if we skip this part, it's not enough. So being able to make sure that there's really good, clear connection going on between the gut-brain axis and making sure that our brain can tell our body, hey, guess what? We're not actually under attack, because even some of those pathogens that can exist in the digestive system can tell your body you're being attacked the same way as if you open the front door and there's a cougar sitting there like, hey, you look like breakfast to me. So either way, your body's like, something's attacking me, something's here that shouldn't be, and the same response is being triggered. So being able to reduce that stress response is massive. Next slide.